Morning, Mr. Faulkner.
Pleasure.
Now, promising advances made in MS research.
Canada has one of the highest rates of multiple sclerosis in the world. Each day, 3 Canadians are diagnosed with a debilitating neurological disease. And while we still don't know how to cure MS or even what causes it, exciting and promising research helped advance our understanding of it in 2012. Joining me now is Karen Lee. She is the VP of Research with the MS Society of Canada. Good to have you here, Karen.
Good morning.
So tell me about this exciting news. What happened in 2012?
So 2012 was a really exciting year for MS research. We saw the advent of oral therapies for multiple sclerosis. So what we mean by oral therapy is that people living with MS can now take a pill form for treatment for multiple sclerosis. Prior to last year, what happened was the drugs that were available were actually injection-based, so meaning they had to use the needle to actually take their treatment. So that's the first step in terms of a better way in terms of treatment for multiple sclerosis. At the same time, we're seeing new treatments coming down the pipeline for 2013. So it's a really exciting time for MS research.
Research is one thing, and does that lead into the understanding of MS? Are we any closer to understanding its cause?
So in terms of cause for MS, we still don't know the cause. However, the MS Society of Canada, we actively fund research. In 2012, we funded $6.6 million into MS research, specifically in areas such as cause, repair, as well as prevention, and allowing us to further understand what's going on in MS and taking us one step closer to ending MS.
It's interesting because, you know, when you think of other diseases, I'm thinking Parkinson's or cancer, there are often famous people that come out that have these diseases, with Michael J. Fox for one, with Parkinson's, and they come out and they align themselves with this. MS hasn't really done that, although there have been some famous people that have come out and said they have it. I remember Richard Pryor years ago, Annette Funicello is another, Montel Williams, someone else. Does that help or hinder?
Of course, anytime when anyone wants to support a cause such as multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's, it can always help the cause and build awareness for MS. So one of the things that we're most interested in is not only trying to find an understanding of MS and, of course, a cure. We always want to build awareness for multiple sclerosis. In Canada, we have 50,000 to about 75,000 people who live with MS. So in being able to build awareness, to lobby government for more research funding, as well as to just make people understand what goes on in the daily lives of people living with MS is just as important.
A study came out last month describing how the thinning of a certain layer of the retina could factor into finding out more about this disease. Tell us about that. It sounds so interesting.
So this study used a very specific type of imaging called OCT, and many people know that in order to diagnose MS, you need MRI. OCT is just another way. Instead of looking at the brain, you're looking at the eye, which is also an area that is affected in MS. So this tool is pretty fast and maybe a way just to analyze the progression of multiple sclerosis and be a way for outcome to understand what's going on when we use treatment for multiple sclerosis.
Like many other diseases, it's come out that stress management has a lot to do with reducing MS activity. Tell me more about that and what people can do.
So in terms of stress, we all experience stress in our everyday lives. People living with MS have stated that when they have stressful times, it may actually trigger an onset or attack in multiple sclerosis. So this very specific study looked at ways in terms of people can manage their stress in a 24-week program. And what they found was that actually reduced their attack and potentially disease progression. However, they're still trying to figure out ways in where people can take those tools and use it every day, or was it being able to see a psychologist every day is what helped them? So they're still trying to figure out what's the best way to reduce stress and potentially reduce disease progression.
There's still a lot of questions, but at least in 2012, we got some concrete answers. So good to have you there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. For more information on the MS Society of Canada and the research being conducted, head over to our website, canadaam.ctvnews.ca. Up next on the show,